In a win for the former president, a New York judge lifts Trump's gag order in his civil fraud trial, citing concerns over free speech.
Reacting on Truth Social, Trump said in part his ridiculous and unconstitutional gag order not allowing me to defend myself against him and his politically biased and out-of-control Trump-hating clerk who is sinking him in his court to new levels of low is a disgrace.
Here to react, Fox News legal analyst Gregg Jarrett. It didn't feel like something that you could do at the beginning. This judge has now said Trump can speak freely. What do you think?
Most gag orders are unconstitutional. Judges do it because they think they're, gods and can decide and rule and order on anything. In this particular case, it was blatantly unconstitutional prior restraint of free speech and a violation of the First Amendment. And, Trump has an elevated right since he is the odds-on nominee for the Republican Party. We have a ways to go, so we don't really know. But the Constitution doesn't just protect the speaker, it protects the listeners as well. Things they want to hear, they need to hear, they should hear. And in this particular case, you've got Letitia James continuously convicting Trump in the court of public opinion. Our Constitution says he is allowed to respond. And there's no jury here being tainted. It's a bench trial, for goodness sake. So Judge Arthur Engoron, as he consistently has, was wrong.
It's a good point. It's a bench trial.
Right. Who are you harming here?
Yeah, I mean, this whole process, I'm just so concerned about, just if we take it, 30,000 feet here. Yeah, we're talking about these things in the case, but the bigger question for Americans is, are there two systems of justice here? I mean, we can't have a country, if we have this happening where we have the #1 candidate being tried and the government being used against him in this way.
Is there a dual system of justice, unequal justice? Well, we just found out a couple of days ago, apparently no charges against Joe Biden for his classified documents. So you've essentially got two presidents who did the same thing, right? They retained classified documents. One gets criminally charged, but the other doesn't. Yes, there are differences in the case, but try to explain that to the American voter already convinced that Donald Trump is the victim of politically driven prosecutions against him, and Joe Biden the beneficiary of a protection racket by the Department of Justice, his own, and the FBI.
Yes.
Well, Greg, you have a brand new book out. It's called The Constitution of the United States and Other Patriotic Documents. It's out now. You have selected various founding and formative documents throughout the history of the United States of America and offered commentary on those documents. It's fascinating, I think, for anyone that wants to, and everyone should, understand our values and our foundations. This is a great place to start.
Well, thanks very much. This is, at its core, a tribute to the many patriots who made America this luminous beacon of hope for liberty and prosperity and justice, the envy of the world. So you will find, it took me a couple of years, and it was tough to narrow it down, 65 letters, essays, speeches, addresses of America's greatest patriots through 2 centuries. We were so blessed to have such extraordinary leaders. And, it was inspiring and noble ideas and galvanizing words that made America. It shaped our country, our virtues, our aspirations, our ideals. And that's what this book is really all about. Everything, the Constitution in full, Declaration of Independence, all of the Bill of Rights. But then you move forward to seminal figures like Frederick Douglass's lament over slavery, beautiful, moving speeches of Abraham Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt's fireside chats, all the way to Ronald Reagan, who really had an enormous impact on the 21st century, challenging Gorbachev to tear down this wall. And 2 years later, the wall came crumbling down, and with it, the Soviet Communist Empire and the end of the Cold War.
Thank you for doing this work. I mean, I think for folks out there, when you get a chance to look at the book, I mean, it's a beautiful introduction written by Gregg, but then, and there's some documents you do know, but others you're maybe not familiar with. So even just as a reference book that you could have in your home to share with your kids, you're doing a project, it's originally sourced, but it provides context too. It's so important.
You say some things people don't know. Albert Einstein's secret letter to Franklin Roosevelt warning him that the Nazis were attempting to create this new, frighteningly powerful weapon called an atomic bomb. Einstein had been tracing the use of uranium and figured it out. Well, that prompted our secret Manhattan Project, made famous recently by the Oppenheimer film. Just one of the many really surprising documents you'll find in this book.
It's really amazing. We think about the kind of textbooks our kids are getting. This is the kind of thing I'd like to see.
Absolutely.
In many more American classrooms.
It's a great holiday present. Put it under, but buy two and give one to your
school
children's teacher.
Yes. Thank you. Hey, I have a new
As
motto.
the gift for the teacher?
Yes, it's the teacher's gift. Out with Zinn, in with Jarrett.
Thank you very much.
All right. Out with Howard Zinn, in with Gregg Jarrett.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Fantastic.
Thank you,
book.
Gregg.
Check it out.
Thanks, Gregg.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.